good this morning, man? Hey, what up? One upstairs floor. All right, I gotta wash this one out. So if you want some water, you gotta go upstairs, all right? You gotta wash that out. I'm actually gonna change it. Give you a cat bowl. I need that. Hey, what's going on, guys? Morning, morning. Grand rise and the grand elevation, right? So on SMS, I shared with the guys. I watched some people pull up and where they were going to. And I keep seeing like women and men with other military, not ours. And this place is owned by Chinese, right? We don't own shit. It's not how it's supposed to be. History shows that everything that is repeated is recent. Most history told is a lie. And now you look at these youth, and I remember when I was young, well, their age, because none of us are really old. And the disdain and the hate, and yet everything about them is our culture. Everything. You know where camouflage originated with? With certain eastern bands of us and indigenous, how we would blend in when fighting them in the woodlands, whether it be in the Carolinas, the Virginias, rolling up all the way up to Canada, all the way down to the Everglades, and even in South America. This is part of our tradition of fighting something, an enemy. And the old stories, it says the enemy we were fighting was ourselves, and we were so strong in our delusion that we literally were killing ourselves off, thinking we were fighting enemies. And it wasn't really hate or nothing. We had become steeped in cultism. We understood grand powers. Story. I'm not saying this is facts. Is it part of the story I have to tell? Yeah, it is a little bit, but. And we destroyed ourselves in doing such by bleeding our kindred, ourselves. And it's easy to manipulate that. It doesn't take a long time, but yet it doesn't take a short time. And I saw a new one arrive yesterday, and going to the same apartment, I saw another one, and one guy, he always goes around the back, he never comes out the front, who has the Israeli-looking uniform. They're training here. That's why I say all in your parishes and your so-called states, a lot of those so-called fraudulent mayors and everything else, rich, easily bought. They always believe they'll be innocent and they'll be rewarded. The betrayal. That's why I'm reading the books to you. They will subjugate you to death just to meet an ends to a means. And what is it? Well, we're reading in here, and you've heard this from outside about how the Anunnaki and all these different individuals, many of them draconians, blah blah blah, labels, names, right? Regardless of fictional or real, whatever. It's all contemporary to what's actually laid out before us. They allow people to become arrogant, and the ignorance is superseded. Now, does this, what I'm about to say, does it alienate or remove the truth of this being the old world? Well, if the lands were all here, it's all the old world. But being the origin of something, well, you were reading about Enlil and the knucklehead brother, right? About the Americas, us established. what we're capable of, hidden away, the weapons, nuclear, hyperbaric, hypernuclear, thermonuclear. Oh, you never heard of hyperbaric? And so many others. We're talking about after the deluge. What preceded it is what you can see now. And I pointed out in my SMS, and people saying, be safe now. Wait a minute. Look at where you live at. It's not in no one particular place. That's not how the Tet Offensive worked. That's just an example. Like, be smarter than your thought process. You know, it is stated, I believe otherwise, that you have 14 generations. 14 generations. All right? If you have 3 generations, one generation, strong generation every 30 years, that's 3 generations in a century. So if you have 14 generational bits of information, I know it's more, it's hundreds. Yet 14. That alludes to what? Over 300 years worth of information. Why can you not access this information? Why can they not? The first thing they do, they've convinced everybody through death. The Black Plague, Spanish flu, yada, 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 to which they keep creating. You need to be inoculated for the smallpox, chickenpox, which is also man-made. Go back in their history and read about its existence. You'll see the measles, right? But what they won't say nothing how it's related to the bubonic plague, which ascertains the flu, pneumonia, or Spanish flu. They'll never acquiesce to truth because they got to keep creating lies, keep creating poisons that affects the atmosphere, the air you breathe, the water, because they recycle the same water when there's trillions and quadrillions of tons of fresh water. And then when you look at what they have to state about the fresh water, that all of mankind here, at least in America, only use 6% for washing and cooking. That is an abhorrent lie. First of all, the fresh water is not heavy water, to which they use to so-called cool the nuclear reactors, or the cores, the plutonium rods. And then they poison all the other water. And the fact of the matter that people listen, and they don't ascertain the truth behind it all. Like the whole world right now, there's this guy on Instagram, not to get off track, who's showing everything, and he's talking about how, they were then murdering Israelis. It shows me that ex-military personnel are just as ignorant as anybody else. And when you would think that they're smart because they're making some fiat and the way they carry some talks, I made it through war, it would elude one to say, okay, all these people talking about they're Christians and Muslims. And I beg to differ. They have not read one Bible verse. Otherwise, they would say, well, if they're Ashkenazis, which is blatantly clear, how can they be of Shem? Why is it that they don't read none of the literature of those who have turned on them, who they have sadistically murdered? We're not talking about the men. We're talking about the women and children. Where it clearly states Ashkenazi by way of Gomer, who is a female, who is of Yaphet. If everybody wants to be so religious, contextually, right? What's wrong with all these Arabs in America? Well, hate can blind you. And then, just like that Palestinian who's talking on behalf of Israel, who is a known Mossad agent. You can't make up. My beard is looking crazy and thing. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got up and combed. I didn't even brush it. Anyway, I look at the school systems, how they've changed children to run around saying, I'm not a boy, I'm not a girl. Like, is that the parents' wishes? And who allows it? I just want to know who allows it. All these bad mama jamas, right? I just want to know who allows it. Did you allow it? Did I allow it? We always hear this generational curse shit. You know, you got a bunch of Pelicans running around. The curse of you, created by the fucking Ashkenazis. The curse of you is you're black. Motherfucker, I ain't black. Because of ham. Ham ain't got nothing to do with me, nigga. I'm not the one eating the shit. The curse was to come out biologically different from everybody else and missing melanin. That's a fucking curse. The darkness is to make people believe that a pale skin is allude to light, to which it has absolutely not one thing to do with, because in the darkness there is light. But because they are educated in this fucking system, the stupidity of it all is beyond comprehension. And I watch all of them run around, and the majority of them darker than the majority of us. I gotta turn off the notifications, all right? Because they're getting on my nerve. Really getting on my nerves. Let me turn the music off. He's jumping up and down in the window like a retard. Anyway. And we're supposed to take everybody serious. So I was on TikTok. I'm about to shut that account down. It's 6.9 gigabytes. That one has more than Instagram, Facebook, or both combined. And that X now, you know, I got rid of that 2 days ago. Yeah, I don't be on there. I'm not tweeting shit. I don't care about what people are talking about. It's just unbelievable how consistently sick-minded individuals is. Anyway, 14 generations of information within you. It seems like people aren't even aware of the information that's in them in this generation alone, or the last couple betwixt us. And then we have Sir Bill Gates in the psych ward. How do you do this? The information's still there. It's not even, I guess they're doing AI so that way they can turn around and go, oh yeah, that was AI generated, as if it's fake, when it's really him and his mental aspirations, I guess, when they were thinking about letting him out. So generational curses are not upon us. It's chemical poisoning. What are you doing? Oh, you're losing your mind. So the poisoning of history, the lies, and the physical poisoning, which alienates the mental, which allows this decrepit state of being or existence. And so therefore, what do you have? You have a broken, weak sponge that you can employ your tactics. And that's what we're dealing with. Anytime you see somebody wanting to kill themselves, it's not just a loss. It's a real sick place of alienation, of self-alienation, group alienation. You think about how many of our families are so divided based upon lines excuse me, of belief. I went to bed early yesterday, y'all. I don't know. I was telling people it was like 7. I think it was 6:30 when I took it. I just passed out and woke up at 12:01, and I went back to sleep around 4 o'clock. I don't know. So excuse me for yawning and stuff, but I said, you know what, let's go ahead and watch a couple of the videos when I woke up this morning and see what's going on out here. And don't stress me, it's not gonna mess with my sleep. I saw videos all the way from making things look like something was worse to actual footage um, of death and destruction, and one side wants to prove the other side, excuse me, so wrong. But how do generations forget what they have done? Many of our people's deaths at the hand of dumb-ass, racist, goofy, punk-ass police and the niggas who would betray their own. Because we have our own. We had Peter Barnes, who we grew up with, right? Not Peter Barnes, but Peter, I think is it Barnes? Light-skinned little punk motherfucker. Used to always run around, try to be 21 Jump Street. He went on to become a police officer in East Orange. Okay? And on the drugs and all that. And he was the biggest drunk at David Bell's wedding. And everybody talked about how he was one of the biggest drunks, always working out. You know he was making some money illegally, you know, taking his melanated wife, but he acted like he aided his own people. This motherfucker was one of the biggest hypocrites I ever seen. I remember when I went to David, I didn't make it to his wedding because I came all the way from Millville. I drove up. I was gonna ride my motorcycle, but I wasn't sure if it would really make it. I know it would, but I just didn't want to drive it. And I knew I'd have a few drinks. And I remember how he was carrying himself. I remember I wanted to knock him out. I saw him. I went up and said, "What's going on, man?" Because I remember he snitched on me about the weed selling. And I was wasn't holding no grudge about that. I was looking at him. And I was like, okay, he's got a little police thing like that. That don't mean shit to half of us there who in the know didn't really give a fuck. And I was sitting with my cousin Marv and all of them, you know what I'm saying? It was about DJ. Well, that was afterwards. Excuse me. Still on the wedding part. So that was the after wedding, you know, when you do get together in the cake and all that shit. And everybody parties. And he was just drinking like a fucking fish out of water. I was a drinker, but goddamn. You know, this is supposed to be the law, and this is what we have, a systemic issue of this. This is toxic. This is poison. It's not us against them. They are supposed to be American flag, 1776 and all that shit. But this is the hypocrisy. When you get inundated and corrupted, that means you don't remember the past. You weren't nurtured or reared right. Something's broken. And we see that today, especially in Florida, Texas. Oh man, Texas. Even in certain parts of Arizona, you know, like southern Arizona, they get some of the biggest fucking hypocrites who don't know the law. Everything is you will listen and, well, here's the deal, goofy shit. And no, here's the deal. You say that one more time to me, motherfucker, you're going to shoot me because I'm going to break your back. When you don't have no jurisdiction, you don't know the law, you don't know shit other than the costume and the goofy training, especially when the motherfuckers in the 80s and 90s were going over to Israel to learn how to do some serious harm and damage, to which policing is not about that. It's supposed to be the peace officers. But then you find out, it's not getting off tracks, pay attention. Then you find out the Supreme Court has ruled that they're not there to serve and protect. So who is the first responder? Then you have these agents of chaos who have been inserted, not elected, put in front of you for you to select, right? Who are part of the agenda, as stupid as they are. And everybody's running around like everything's hunky-dory and fine and okay. And then people get in there because of the paycheck. And they stay because they feel that it's their life. When you believe that the money makes you, instead of you making the money, but doing it in a way that's morally sound and subjective, well, ergo's the reason and what we're in and what we're involved with. Don't step on that, please. Okay? So I watched, and I just did a little recording just to show. It's not hate. But how do you just pop up on a scene and you're walking around and smocks or whatever, you know, the stuff, you know, wear at the hospitals, I forget the name. And I used to wear the crap I still have some from when I was in nursing school and all that. But you walk around, what hospital you working? I know everybody over at this one. Clinic, the VA, and you're Hindu. You don't know how to greet your neighbors or nothing. You don't say nothing. Then I walk outside and I smell what I remember as ammonium nitrate. I smelled it. Kind of like you would think this, like you're washing clothes or something, like you're standing at a laundromat. It's kind of a weird smell for those who know what I'm talking about. And you can see people looking at me walking around sniffing like, holy shit. Blinds closed. And I'm like, what's that fucking smell? I remember this smell. I worked in ordnance. I mean, we got to see some things on the, at places where we stored our weapons, ammos, Um, and I'm sitting here going, you can't make this up. I'm not afraid or anything. The fact of the matter is that they're around me. I'm one that believes in the salt and vinegar, getting rid of rickets and arthritis, and, good for your skin. Small amounts, sugar and black pepper, and a little piece of hair here and there, depending on what it is you want to accomplish. Rocks placed in a certain position, making it my business to stare at the sun for 10 minutes without blinking, allowing myself to walk ankle high into the water and to whisper the name of several trees, to close my ears and allow the sound to vibrate in my eyelids as I process a thought. There are deeper things y'all know nothing about. And they don't know how they're being set up. You too. Everything is energy. Everything is alive. The rocks, the sand, everything is alive. Everything. I mean everything. Even the chemicals and stuff they use, the paints, if they weren't, how could they not? That means they shouldn't be able to affect you. They're just on a different frequency, vibration, whatever you want to call it. Metaphysical. If you want to get rid of a lot of the population, well, what do? We're not dealing with a curse, y'all. We're dealing with a straight up poisoning. I shared a little video with the sister, and she got it from other places. And I was talking about it yesterday, Soul and Grain. Talking about you're really eating people. And yet, over the last decade or two, they've been showing you that they glue meat together. I told you about videos I can't show on here. Literally with these big, tall motherfuckers, pale and dark, with these yellow, you could probably pick it up on dark web, like I said before, literally dumping bodies that are not decayed, and they're literally carving them up as you do elk, deer, sheep. I'm serious. Cutting the meat away from the bone. I don't promote this, you know that. And putting the bone, after removing all the innards and everything, these things have been, they're literally, and removing it into vats. They've got to go in. It's not an easy thing. You're not a rabbit. You can just slap it out like we used to do on the riverbanks. I wish I had never done that. But anyway, I know it played a part. And then carving it up. And then taking the bones left and throwing it in this chipper thing. And there's plenty of them walking around. Hoses always hitting the floor, tile floor, and this look like a slaughter room, And the bodies, they just keep pulling them in by the ankle. Real bodies, not no Hollywood stuff. And this was leaked stuff. And the meat's just being packed and put in the cooler. From all these bodies, thousands. And then we go in the store and we pick the steak up. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, we go in the back and we see them carving it up. That's why I like, when I go to the res, I know that that's a cow. That's a lamb. But we shouldn't be eating it, period. Today's going to be the first day of no meat. If you want to embark on this journey, and then every night I do a little podcast to see those who actually are doing it, we can set that up. That's based upon what y'all feel. Why am I doing this? I was doing the meat thing and everything to prove to you. I always say you don't talk about something if you don't do it. This is the third time I've done this. It's not because I wanted to eat meat. I just wanted to prove that meat is not the answer. It creates meat, is what creates diabetes. Facts. I know you'll see doctors and you'll see these people, I was eating vegetables. There's a million vegetables and fruits. They don't eat it. Half of them couldn't stand watermelon. They never had an allergy test to know what they're allergic to. Some people can't eat avocados. A lot of people, you'd be surprised at how many people can't eat watermelon or cantaloupe or mangoes or honeydew melons. A lot of these fruits aren't what they used to be like. Some of y'all saw the post I put up last year or early on in the beginning of this year where I showed you what a lot of fruit actually, the eggplant don't look like it does today. Strawberries were never red. Oranges shouldn't look the way they do. Navel oranges are just completely genetically modified. Corn should never be yellow or white. It can be white, but it's a weird kind with textures of hints of mauve, maroon, blue, and green. I've grown it. I've had seeds that are over 220 years old. I know that this is something practical what I talk about. And it's considered a grain, yet corn is a fruit. Regardless of how we spliced and created it. Is it not sweet and succulent with a core? Can you keep the kernels and regrow them once they've hardened, like seeds? Watermelon. The benefits don't blend the seed up. It's toxic. Eat the seed whole. Dig a hole, take a poop, and you'd be surprised at the watermelon that'll be growing next year. This is what we were known for. This is a reality. But because of the system, the poisoning, the lucrative business of big pharma corporation to poison and to disdain themselves from being honest, hold themselves back to. You would think people pay attention to those little things, those little tiny quirks, and they don't. What did I have? I'm going to finish. I decided to hold off on my mud coffee, on my mud mushroom coffee, and drink my Rise. I've got 3 bags, and I added a little more performance mushroom by Laird. Now Laird has a whole bunch of stuff. When it first came out, this is the only thing they had, and that's why I've been with them. I was just looking at certain prices to say, do I want to get this again? Because it has chaga, cordyceps, lion's mane, and maitake. This is when I lost that 25 pounds when I came off the res, I was eating that and certain greens. That was it. In the best shape, went around the 10 miles. Then one day I was like, you know what? I was doing, I think, a live on Facebook, and I was like, you know what? They're trying to hide us. And I said, well, I'm going to go and show y'all what meat does. And I'm going to be the example. And I did. I got sick every other month. It was just crazy. And I'm O positive blood. Like supposedly in the book of blood organized law, we're supposed to be able to eat any and everything. Not true at all. Because we can give to everybody, but can only receive from each other, we must be tentative to our blood type. It is paramount and indicative that meat is toxic to us. Though enjoying it every once in a while, fish is more beneficial, but you see the levels of mercury and lead and PFAS in fish now is beyond astronomical. This is by design, unless you're deep sea fishing, way out there. How many of you are going out there or can pay charters to go 50 miles out? I'm only asking because I really need to know. I've been cramping a lot, like I might have a hernia or something. You know, I do some pretty crazy shit. I mean, like pushing a truck every other day and all the stuff I put my body through, falling off roofs and shit, letting people kick and punch me. Because I feel like a juggernaut half the time. Well, I've got to allow myself to heal as best I can. And it doesn't take forever. It's not overnight, but it damn sure doesn't take forever. I didn't check to see if anybody donated. Not even, you know, if you want to donate, donate. If you don't, I had 2 pretty good donations. We're still about exactly at, because when I pull this out, it's going to take about $25 from Cashapp. Don't cry, just stop. Like we give too much meaning to the money. That's the sole purpose of Cashapp. I actually have a card coming in, and I don't have to do that. For the first time, I went ahead and got the card, so that way I can use the card to order the books. But we're about $275, $80 away from ordering all these books. I actually spent $50 yesterday on some water and stuff. I'll just go to the bank, withdraw it, and put it, because I'm going to take that and I'm going to deposit it in my third account. I have to drive to the main branch in Flagstaff. I got an appointment I got to go to, and that's how I'm going to do it. They're really paying attention to too much stuff, y'all. There's a lot of things, man. A lot of things that have to be accomplished in a very short time. But we can't fret about it. We just got to keep moving forward like everything's normal, regardless of what's happening. I mean, you got some idiot running around supposedly shooting people, and he's able to get away with all the with all the cameras. We have more cameras here than in China, and they can't even fart and get away with it, or the wrong kind of fart. Is anybody paying attention? No, seriously. Hawaii is a thing of the past that quick, yet the voices over there are still angered and crying out. The children are still missing. And yet people still want to fight about crayon colors, races, and ethnicities. I had to hit that Muslim in the head and says, do you know who the true Ishmaelites are? I says, do you even know who you are a remnant of? I can't wait to read his response, because I know it's going to be full of hypocrisy. Weaponized ignorance. And people have a hard time accepting the fact when I tell them that I am the darkness, but they just want to, because hey, we see you, we know you, you grew up with us. You don't know how anything works. 99.99% of you don't know how a goddamn thing works, because you can't even get your head out of hot. And you can't accept. I'm not saying accept me, but you can't accept what may be relevant. And what may be good. Always was. Because all you know is what they've given you. 14 generations. I know you have 100 and the hundreds and the hundreds of generations of knowledge of wealth within you. These bodies can take a ticket. I mean, take a licking and keep on ticking. It's mind-boggling. And you won't step into when I tell you, you are more capable of some incredible shit. I mean it too. You are more powerful than you fucking can even imagine. Just as much as you believe in all the lies and the religions and shit that you believed in, why don't you focus on believing that you're more capable and powerful? And it's going to be a lot to get it wrong. But God damn it, that anger will supersede, and people will say, fuck a martyr. And they'll realize, holy shit. And they'll see for themselves. And nobody have to tell anybody to be quiet, this, that, and other. Everything will be automatic. You won't be telling on nobody or nothing. It's the disbelievers. Those are the ones that are nothing but cannon fodder. The ones you put out there with a little bit of ammo. Just use up the other enemy's ammo. Oh, well. See you later. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling you everything is backwards, reverse, upside down, inverted. Literally. Everything. So when they're telling you about the future, you already had that. Where you at now? You're in the era of the worst shaped buildings and caveman mentality, as if you just went out and learned how to create fire. While the ones who believe they're smarter from everything that our ancestors accomplished, are keeping you poisoned, toxic as fuck, and running around mitigating more hate and irrelevance than anything. Some people said, asked me, said to me, so you really believe, it's a question and a statement at the same time, that there are people, lizards running around, look, man, there's shit you don't have no clue about. Man, it's all in front of you. It's just the way it's displayed. If I didn't want you to know I existed in another form or way or whatever, right? Wouldn't I hide that from you? And how would I do that? Isn't the war? To them, war is the best distraction. But the education system, Twitch is bullshit. Governments, to slowly grant you little wishes, knowing very well they're going to take them away because you've given them the power where nobody can take a goddamn thing away from you. Every time I hear these little peckerwoods on these 2A people talking about NFA and the FBI and the ATF and that, I'm like, seriously? I don't have a bargaining chip. I don't really give a fuck about them. All I'm saying is the reality of the situation is y'all don't see how deep the perversion is. They create crap and they turn around and they act like, with the lying ass media, this is the mind boggling, because some of them motherfuckers are watching these videos. they turn around and act like, oh, we've done a good deed. All they have, the actual people that really are about doing a good deed, be the talk piece as they subjugate and stop certain things. There's no way in the world that guy could kill 22 people or him, whatever the fuck the numbers are, right? If it's real. I'm not saying it isn't. But isn't that going on every hour? Motherfuckers getting dead? Or is that trumped up as well to fit their agenda? Should you even be concerned with it? I'm going to tell y'all that y'all shouldn't even be concerned with it. Pay attention, but you don't have to speak on every goddamn thing that goes by. I'm doing it for you. Because I always see people post shit and I'm like, what the fuck? It's obvious people aren't paying attention. I don't give a fuck about what's going on over there, over there, over there. What it is, there are key things that are pointing out to you being the benefactor of knowing who the fuck you are. And if you can't accept who you are because you're still caught up in the dividends of those who would change the narrative, fool you once, fool you twice, and the third time because you ain't paying attention to the first or second time, fool you for you think you're the first time when you've been fooled motherfucking 100 times. See, I am fuck all that shit. Why did I share that? I didn't share it on here because I want people to listen as well as me just doing a little Super Bowl 360-degree over here, and over here, because they might be legitimate, but there's people who are watching them. But when I smelled that this morning, I said, hold up, wait a minute, motherfucker, don't you be too stupid in it, because I was about to knock on their door. Fuck is going on up in here? Because if they was to blow up when I went in there, I'd be cool. I'm just saying, I'd be like, dumbasses. So how you doing? How you doing? But I don't fret about it. See, that's the whole thing. I just want you to pay attention. There's nothing wrong with being wrong as long as you don't get like Ken and Karen and shit and all up. Give me that back. What are you doing here? Do you live here? How'd you get here? They already crossed that mark. The fuck, you wasn't out there stopping the motherfuckers, right? You didn't cam me up, you didn't arm up and go down there with about 5,000 strong militia. National Guard, shut the fuck up. Police, sheriff, shut the fuck up. You fall in the monkeys who would allow this. That means you're part of the problem. We're gonna police this motherfucker. So if you hear some shit ringing off and we ain't planking, but you hear fact, because we hitting flesh, stay your fucking ass out the way. Y'all don't know how to come together. Ergo, criminals, again, immigrants being brought in by immigrants who are Sephardic and Arab, maybe Turkish, from Spain or whatever, who've been allowed to speak a language and believe there's something else. Not all, because I believe they're killing a lot of the real people. I'm just saying, you don't have to believe me. It doesn't matter. It's pointing this shit out. I actually had somebody hit my Gmail, African, saying, "Much respect, beloved." I can hear his voice now. Sound like, I'm over there, oh, yeah, raising the baby up and shit. And he uttered nothing but respect. And he says, "Don't worry, there's many of us over here paying attention now." And yeah, there's provocateurs, agent provocateurs. He said it in French. I had to look it the fuck up because I didn't know provocateur or whatever the fuck it is. But yeah, so there are people everywhere watching, and they've about had enough of the shit. The pale skin brothers, I love dearly. They would never use the term black nor white. You ask their children, they'd be like, "What's white?" I respect them as Americans. Fuck the citizen shit. I see them as sentient. We got a long ways to go. So, are you alone? Not at all. And we never hated anybody. We're the original cowboys. We're the original people of this land. All lands, actually. It's the goddamn Zionists with their Ashkenazi. Those who they select. Yeah, he could be a Jew. They're the fucking problem. The nasty-ass, worthless rabbis. The sick, perverted ones. Not the ones telling the truth. They've been blackballed and outcast. But they still wear their garments and they still will tell you the truth. That's if you're willing to fucking sit down and listen to them, if you know how to find them. I mean, there's plenty of them. You must accept who you really are. Other than that, nothing else is going to change. There's no such thing as a Hebrew fucking movement. That is like go learn a language. Is that what the fuck it is? I'm going to Hebrew. I'm a language Israelite. What the fuck is that? Ishmaelite. It's not even really how it's pronounced, but we're going to stick with that because we don't want people running around with all these different variables going fucking crazy. Kiramia has been doing more for our people than any fucking body else. I went and watched a whole bunch of his videos. I'm like, damn, this brother lived in Boston. Has been enlightening motherfuckers for a while. I've been doing this since I was a young buck. But there's many more out there. And I'm gratuitous to the young brothers who are on, not the bandwagon. We don't need no bandwagon leaders, but who are going, holy shit, Papa, Mama got some information. And they're going through those shoeboxes and shit, and they're seeing all this shit. Mama, Dad's dead. What the fuck is this, The 20s and the 30s. And they're going, oh, yeah. Because when Grandma and them said, yeah, we got some Indianness or we Indian, they weren't making it the fuck up by the narrative. I got Hindus who got upset. What do you mean, 1940? Yeah, 1954 is when the motherfuckers decided to change it in India from Hindustan, motherfucker. That's no hate. I have good friends in Bangladesh, darker than me, with dreadlocks. Tell me all the time, stop eating meat, Ray. Oh, shit, man, they get on me. I told you I got a friend of mine who's retired. He's in his 70s. Plays golf and a few other things. Shooting range. Was a black cat. Motherfucker love me to death. I love him to death. Hindustan. Now, he's a regular old Hindustan. He's, wavy, straight black hair. But he got a nose like me. He always looks at me, we might be cousins. Nigga, I ain't from over there. That's how I met him, man. And we was talking shit, and he was laughing and says, you drink? I was like, yeah. At that time, this is a few years ago. That's the one who was telling me about the Bell palsy and shit. Bell palsy hit me at 19 years old and Naval Air Station Cecil Field, Jacksonville, Florida, not that far from Georgia. I woke up that day, my whole face was dropped like this. Dried the fuck out, looking like Phantom of the fucking Opera. I needed a mask. All good looking and all that, curly little fro, little flat. And I am waking up looking like fucking a hunchback of Notre Dame. Like I need bing bong. And I was like, in my boxes, y'all, and socks, ran to the infirmary, ran to the fuck. And it was a young guy. And he's probably about 6, 7 years old, a little older than me, med school. And he's like, I was a spectacle. Look at this guy. All American doctors, no foreigners, nowhere. He's saying foreigners, but it is what it is. And they studied my face, pushing and prodding, hitting me with needles and shit down to here. I thought I had a stroke. Nigga, I ain't doing anything. I just got through running like fucking 13 fucking miles and lifting heavy weights and shit. That was before, I can't say his name, Mexican dude killed his wife who worked at the galley we used to eat at because I lived on base at the time. Beautiful base. They've destroyed it. But anyway. He says, you got Bell's palsy. I was like, how the fuck is that? Where's that in the bloodline? Even though I've had a lot of blood work and things let me know certain things, I was wondering if it could be from the Dutch side of my family. Could it be a gene that skipped over it? And they were looking at it as a possibility. But you got to remember that if you go back 12 generations, do you know how many 12 great grandparents you have? That's why I keep telling people, everything that you think you know is bullshit. But because we still stand as we are, should alleviate some things, and you must inherently be aware that the fraction and division keeps us from fighting unifiedly all over Earth a common enemy. You dig what I'm saying? People say, but I can't barely tell. Motherfucker, I do all kind of facial exercises like I learned in acting. You know, all that shit. I do that even though my shit is numb. All this here, up to here, around to here is numb. Numb. Like triple Novocaine, numb. And when you see me, you would think otherwise. That's because I do the you know, for those who know. Oh, my children don't have it. It's a one hit. First in the family. Only in the family, actually. It was meant for me. And they gave me steroids and shit. And in about 3 days, I was like, okay. And I stayed in. I made my short military career because of the good old boy network. The thing that destroyed this company is dumbass pale skin racists, and now the new age dumb niggas that partake in it and stupidity, whether foreign or not. I would love to see people actually pay attention to shit instead of having their folklore fears. Because the stupidity is real. The hate based on certain things that happen. I'm so tired of this man against woman and woman against. It is the fucking dumbest shit I've ever read. Whenever I read people's posts and I see that shit, and it's a bunch of us, I don't do it, but because it's just negative, it negates negativity. Instead of us holding the motherfuckers accountable and keep moving forward with our lives in the love and aspirations that we have to be the dreamers as we always have been. Now we're just stagnant ass slugs squeaking along, leaving a nasty, slimy fucking trail. At least theirs serve a purpose. Us, it's like we might as well get into the scat race and scoot ass without wiping it across and show everybody by smelling the stench and the marks where we're going. Because that's what the fuck most of our people have become. A shit stain. No, the pain is too great. You don't know. I hate when a motherfucker come out. You don't know what. No, you the one that don't know. But all right, cool. I'm out. That's how I deal with motherfuckers. I dealt with them like that because that's how they need to be dealt with. Like nobody else is suffering from the same pains. How do we bring some kind of bilateral, what you call it, or coexistence? We find those who seek the betterment and who are really about it, and realize that it's not about trust, it's not about hate, it's not about entrusting, it's about actually paying attention. Does it mean everybody's going to agree? How can everybody agree on shit when everybody can't even get their head out of hot? Yeah, I meant to come back on and read. You know me. I was laying up on this motherfucker. It's comfortable. Y'all just don't know. I got to watch this today. I was laying up on here. I was listening to, let me see if I can find it for you. I'm going to let it play. Because they keep talking about copyright. Don't shut, I wish they shut the fuck up with their retarded ass selves. I think it was the Wells of the North. Let me see what it was. What was it? What was that? I'm going to pull it up. I'm trying to remember. I could go back to the library and shit. I think it was Neo Soul, or it was was it something dark? Oh, let me see. That ringing. I had to cancel out my surround sound and had to do something with tape over the speakers to dab out the 440 to let a different frequency come through the tape. I'll explain that on another time. That's a frequency, that's a good frequency. And I was reading, I think it was 6:30, I don't know. And I was out. Yeah, the tape's fluctuating on the bottom where the speaker, the holes are. So what it's doing is creating all a, you know, like a, and it's changing the program forward. It's like goosebumps and shit. I'm serious, y'all. Okay. And so that was something me and a few friends were talking about, and I did it. So I took my blue model masking tape because of how it's made, cellulose, and I put it on there because it's like a living organism. That's a tape. And I covered it up. I had to take everything fucked down, just big ass TV, and I covered everything up. And when I played back the same thing that I was playing before, like brought it back, I was like, oh, that's different. And I turned it up. And nobody complained, nobody knocked on the door. I was out like a fucking light. And that right there is mystery music. It's like a signature to noise. Phenomenal. But anyhow, so I went to sleep, woke up, like I said, at 12, went back to sleep around 4, watching all that while I was watching. And things just hit me, you know. Are we eating human people meat? I don't know. What do you think? How many times have you went out and had steak? And you said, this don't look like steak. But it tastes like steak. Is that the Matrix? What does steak really look like? How many of y'all, when's the last time any of y'all butchered a cow? I'm only asking. Because I think people want to know. I've butchered quite a few. Okay? Never again. Unless we're in a point where motherfucking cow walking out there and niggas is hungry and I'm like, nigga, we got this. I'm just saying. But yeah, they're the most sweetest animals. I'm serious. All the ones that I've met, man, you know, I've ignored it. How loving they are. But and what man has done. You can keep eating that shit. I'm done. Somebody that was vegan for about 15 years and then off, and then I did it for a few years. Some of you saw me on Facebook. I was like sharing, eat this, that, and the other, and I'm healthy like a mother. And then injuries are injuries, you know. And I couldn't get my hands on everything, but I did my best, you know, that I can utilize. telling people about turmeric shots, all this stuff nobody knew about. Pineapple and turmeric for the men if they want to, and black pepper and the benefits, white fat, yellow fat, blah, from medical school. And I said to myself, I've got to stop. It's that important. But I would love to see people walk with me on it, to take that trip, to give it a run. Snoo bought me some mushrooms. I made and I use goat milk. But there is coconut milk that you can use that's safe. I would say before they pervert that shit, because you know who's in charge of all the companies. Before they start putting R&D and shit like that, new age shit in all those stuff. Because that's the thing, is they want to attack the food. Get it while you can. And if you got somebody who can test it, test it. If you can afford the $160, $260 to have the shit tested, do it. Don't believe in the BBB, the Better Business Bureau, and there's like 3 others or something like that, if I remember right, from law school. They're all bought and paid for. And whenever you send stuff off with your address and name, flags pop up at companies where they have directives to follow. Like when you walk into a hospital, there's certain people sitting behind, and they know that when they pull medicine, they pull it from the other shelf. It's just a fucking fact. For those working in the medical industry, tell me different. Sometimes people will already fill the shit up at night. When you go and hand up and rip the packs and give them medicine, it looks the same. It's labeled the same. Problem is it the same? This shit is deep, y'all. That's like y'all going to the hospital to get them shots and they ripping the thing open. They stopped steaming the needles and stuff, not because people were getting infections, because that shit was working perfect when I was growing up. I would go in to get a shot. They had that damn big, remember that big ass thing? And it was steamed like brand new, clean, like fucking. Now it's packaged. So it can have shit on the needle. And here you are, they ripping it open, they got the butterfly and they hitting you, and you sitting there not knowing that shit is contaminated. I would love to see somebody medical come and prove that shit, because a lot of them talking shit. They're part of Big Pharma. History is poison. It has been poisoned. There's no generational curse. There's no generational curse. Unless you consider the fact that we stay there. We implore ourselves to stay stuck there like these dumb Negroes and Negras running around. The transatlantic slave trade and having, like, somebody who sailed the seas, the great oceans. How the fuck you gonna put people shoulder to shoulder with all that pissing and throwing up and shitting? And the motherfuckers up there gotta feed these niggas. And they were talking about this long ass trip they made everybody believe on a geocentrical fucking earth. Like, make it make sense. And it's always the same rhetoric and dumb shit that never makes sense. Never makes sense. And then all the NASA shit. Any of y'all ever seen the space station underwater and the Russian ones over here and the Japanese parts over there and the Chinese parts over here? They working together on that. They're out there on the fucking witch-calls and they ain't fighting over there, but niggas and dumbasses is over here fighting. I mean, the Suez, the motherfuckers had the Ukrainian and the Russian action. I'm like, make it make sense. This shows me what should show you how dumb motherfuckers is. In every fucking footage I've seen, I'm always seeing water bubbles for somebody who knows about diving. All of them. And they have one motherfucker, Spanish, whatever, almost drowned once or twice. How about the bee flying around? And the fact that if you pay attention, the motherfuckers so-called flying, besides the Vomit Comet, which gives, 30 seconds of so-called zero G, which is nothing but the aircraft, and how everything works in order, where you seem like you're floating, but it's just the aircraft's picking up a speed. Then it's all of a sudden abruptly stopping, and then you stuck right there and you're able to move and do shit. But here you see motherfucker flying through the back, and they forgot to black out the harness on this motherfucker's back. When I saw that, man, I was hitting everybody, yo, y'all see that shit? And the news was showing it. Like, look at what's sir, what's the name in the back floating by, and the bitches with all the goddamn glue, sticky glue, and hairspray. Like, nigga, this ain't the 60s. Like, even on the fake moon, dust and shit was kicking up all over the fucking place. You can't make this shit up. And then when everybody finds out that's Sedona, Arizona, and a few other places, salt flats, they're like, wait a minute, I know that picture. And guys, professional photographers, pull up the very same picture, and they talking about the Mars lander, Rove lander, and yet here we go, fucking salt flats. Like, you can't make this shit up. We're close to where the desert is, and with the same fucking rocks, you can't make it up. And people are still running around. I'm still looking at the planets up there, and I'm looking, and they just launched the X, and because there's still so many dumb motherfuckers is the reason why we have this 6 degrees of fucking separation. The world is corrupted. It's not generational curses. It is just us remaining fucking stagnant and stupid because of chemical lobotomy, chemical toxification, chemical poisoning. And dumb motherfuckers use it to do things in hotels and bars and sports, doping, and come on. That's why we need a community. That's a nation that is tired of living this fake rat race. I implore y'all to realize that you choose to be where you're at and stay where you're at, as if that is the way when it's not. Imagine the peaceful people who created everything, living amongst themselves, doing it again, being attacked today. That's what they don't want. And y'all are going to give it to them. You're going to stay right where you're at. You're going to do the same medial shit. You're going to believe your mind, and your mind stating everything that you're doing by your determining factors based upon how you've lived is the answer. And nobody can say otherwise, because that's your ego and your stubbornness, your arrogance, your ignorance. Well, I guess you could say that's my morning gear grind. So what grinds my gear, I guess. We're going to get some reading in. Snooty says I should have something coming in the mail. I'm not going to the P.O. box today. I'll fucking go tomorrow. I'm going to sit up in here. I'm going to put on my plaid pajamas. We're going to read. We're going to enjoy. I don't give a fuck about no copyright shit. I'm not getting paid to be on here. I'm going to listen to music. I'm going to put on some pretty interesting and good music. Some Beethoven, Bach, whatever the fuck. Just good reads, good background music, and break down whatever I can break down. Like I said, I don't know everything. The picture you see there, that's I'm a Southerner. He's supposed to be a quantinim, which is a 10th degree. And he's one of those guys. I was on the res at that time. They come around every year and they set up the big tent and they do the evangelical Christian type. He's Korean thing. And they used to always come and get me because I wouldn't go to that shit. And it says, the Taekwondo teachers they will all come. They want to spar with you. I says, okay, I don't do light sparring. It's for all out. And it'd be Navajos, Koreans, everybody, all in a big circle, big ass tent. And I'd put on my sweats, or I will put on my, my regular Korean, my gi, barefoot, take my big toe that's got no cartilage, and I fuck them up every time. So I was highly respected by all of them, about 6 of them over the 10-year period. Yeah, beat every one of their asses. Now I'm talking about real shit. And so that's one. Kim, that's all we're going to say. Kim, okay? Wonderful brother. Love him to death. tried to pick me up when I was like 240, you know. I'm like, I'm gonna hurt your back. And good kimchi, good soul. You dig what I'm saying? SEOUL, soul. Um, love them. Sometimes I have to go out there after the first about 4 or 5 matches and listen to them evangelize and say, yeah, get these motherfuckers' heads right with something, because there's some weird shit going on in this reservation. So that's why I put them there, because I said there's no generational curses. Everybody's being chemically lobotomized. It's poison. Okay. Let me shout everybody out and get ourselves situated to get our morning read in, probably around like 11 to 12. I'm going to be reading all night. Don't worry, I know people have asked me when I'm going to hit a podcast. I'm going to set it up. But you know me, when it comes to podcasts, if you look at the other ones, it just can't be that I'm fishing for something. It has to be constructive. Even though we're going to keep it 100 real like we do and talk some shit or whatever, but it has to be constructive. All right? So, though I have all kind of shit I want to, there has to be, not based upon leniency, but it has to be constructive. All right? Let me shout everybody out. God damn. Hey, Snow, what's up, baby? Merging timelines. What's going on, beloved? Mikey Hill. Grand elevations, beloved. Rondo. Yeah, my boy. Hope you sprinkle on some of that good water, beloved. What's going on, Nanaki? Appreciate you, man. Number love. Respect, y'all. Margaret, if you're in here, what's going on? You'd be like you're in here, like say what's needed, because I don't see where your husband at. And like have some self-control, hon. Love you, sis. You're older and you should be wiser. I know some things happen. Diet. All right? But you know I care about you. If you're in here, Margarita. Here I am, baby girl Slaughter. Hey, how's it going, beloved? What's happening, sis? T. Hines. Top of the AM. Top of the morning to ya. Top of the morning. You're going to make me get my Irish pipe that I got in Scotland. I haven't put no tobacco. It's still, the war is husked and all that. So, top of the morning to you. Oh, thanks for you coming. I appreciate you guys showing up. I agree. Don't get on Twitter, TikTok a few times a day, but I'm pulling away. I'm getting rid of TikTok today, actually. Oh, what's going on, beloved? Salute. What's going on, Big Tree? What's happening, beloved? JB, James B, what's going on? Tribe all day. You already know, man. Whenever I hear people say tribe, I think of Chicago. That's Shalaga. I'm serious. So, number appreciation keeps my mind running and fresh. I have never seen the movie Soylent. It's Soylent. So Soylent, I believe. Soylent Green with Charlton Heston. I believe it's on YouTube. When I saw it was on AMC. I had it. I got rid of it. I'm not paying that kind of money just so I can have HBO and this, that, and AMC. Because I used to watch the Living Dead, whatever that shit was, that series on there. But yeah, Soylent Green. It's pretty good. You never check it out. I agree. They are killing people and putting it in the food supply. Yeah, you with it? Oh, all right, okay, all right. Alicia and Cooper, what's going on? Love, what's cracking? How's it going, fam? Where can I find this video at? Soylent Green. It should be on YouTube. Let me see. Let me. I think I still have YouTube on my tablet, because I actually took it off for one moment. It's just me. I took it. I get like that. Let me. Soylent Green. If anybody pull it up, you can share it. Usually, Snoo or someone of them would pull it up. Okay, movie. Let me see. It says you got to buy or rent. 1973 movie. That's was stated yesterday. Yeah. So it's on. And let me see where it's streaming. Okay. Soylent Green. Streaming. It's streaming on. Excuse me. It says Max, Hulu. I have the premium, so I got it on there. I don't use. I have Amazon Prime. Okay, I have the premium subscription, but $2.99 on YouTube. All right, I think that's the rent. I don't know how much to purchase it. Google Play Movies, I might have purchased it. It might be in there. I haven't looked because they don't have Google Play. It's part of YouTube now. And Voodoo, I have Voodoo. I don't mess with Redbox. For those who do, you know who's in control of that. So it's streaming on a few platforms. Okay, if anybody wants to take a screenshot, excuse me. If you want to take a screenshot, that way you can, if you have that, you can go ahead and check it out. All right, so yeah, I have all that. So except for the two that I mentioned. But yeah, Herbo, what's going on, beloved? Make me think I'm always in New York. Every time I see you pop up, Herbo, remind me of, yo, back my days. Oh, what's up, baby girl? What's going on, mama? It's another beautiful sister right there, y'all. I meant to finish my sentence. Look at the abortion clinics and meat processing plant location. You know what? It was 2005. I believe I was in Newark, New Jersey. Went to visit my Uncle Lonnie, right, Denver Broncos guy, UMDMJ, University of Medicine and Dentistry in New Jersey. If you get shot, you want to go there. And there was a thing that just came out about the abortion clinics and the fetus tissues and what they were doing with it. Makeup, all kind of shit. Nigga, I stopped. That's when I first stopped using deodorant and started using lime and shit. Going to my Jamaican brothers. What y'all be using for deodorant? Budgeon. Magwan. Ross Glad. When I was telling them what kind of deodorant I was using, Ross Glad. That's for the Bate boys. I was like, God damn, boy. Good thing I ain't never said shit. And anyway, I haven't used deodorant since. There's sometimes when it's just me here. I walk around and see when I start getting funky. And the funk ain't really bad. We're not used to it. It's actually pheromones. It is strong because of what we put into our body. It's like they said, you got access to this food and this is what we're going to give you. Like some nigga, they really believe this is the kennel and we're the fucking zoo animals. You stupid sons of bitches. Appreciate that. Yeah, we have been for a minute. The first cow tastes different than the cap. And it's not all red commercial with that. What they spray with carbon monoxide, right? That's stupid. All they gotta do is if you slaughter a cow, if you gotta eat the meat, salt the shit. Get you some Celtic salt, which lowers your blood pressure. Or some black Hawaiian salt. All right? Don't use pink Himalayan, because that's not gonna dehydrate it. Get some sea salt and pack the meat in the shit. Then after like a day or two, take it out. It's salted. It's almost dehydrated like fucking jerky. That shit'll last forever. If you start getting mold, then you got something that was in that motherfucker that ain't right. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Max V, what's going on, beloved? They have the whole world hooked on some form of RX, yet they constantly locking people up for indulging in a plant placed here probably by the... Make it make sense. But you know why? Because they want to change. They've been working, manipulating the strand of it because they want to make it where it's not beneficial. It gets you high, but fucks up your silica in your lungs and your throat and on your tongue. Makes you delirium. Yeah, no doubt. Marcus Williams, what's going on? I learned what's going on, beloved, to watch this on my son's TV. Don't have to keep using my phone. Oh, yo, be like this. You really need to go out and sun gaze, mama. You be like, nigga, what you got on the screen? Hey, Jay Sip, what's going on, beloved? Welcome. We have I think 4 or 5 new subscribers. I appreciate y'all coming in. There's little times it gets a little randy, baby. You know what I'm saying? We get a little randy, baby. You know what I'm saying? But I'll attempt to keep it as clean as possible because some people do be hitting me up, like my mom and dad. They kind of country though down south, and they just love watching me talk shit. But I want to keep it a little clean, at least a little clean, because the children today, boy, their mouths worse than most sellers I know, including myself. And I'll be like, what that little motherfuckers make you want to take your shoes off me and get Zulu fighting on them? Like get the spear and the goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker, you. I'm saying, y'all know, I had a kid wanted. I went to Blimby's, right, just to get the sun chips. I realized they weren't bad. He was in there cussing the young Navajo woman. See, them Navajo women back there, boy, them young ones will come off the goddamn counter, but because they big back, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, he was cussing out, bitch, I'll come back there and make sale. He was going, I was like, oh, shit. I just turned around and politely walked my ass out, and I heard her talking about, and the guy back there, so I'm holding her back. Don't do it, don't do it. She was getting ready to come over with the fucking the meat cleaver and chop his ass up. He was still talking shit. Bitch, you ain't gonna do, motherfucker, use that. I was like, what in the world? This is what a, but y'all know how it is. You know what I'm saying? Trailer, soil and gray. Thanks, baby. That's what I'm talking about, boo-boo. I appreciate you guys. I think Kimmy had another one yesterday. I watched like a tenth of it. I was tired, and I was trying to finish up that one documentary, and I didn't finish that up either. You know what I'm saying? When I woke up. But yeah, check him out. There's a few others. I don't know if Westside put up anything. Actually, I was just looking, and that's when I said, well, let me go ahead and go live. He's got some stuff in there for, we're talking about AAA, Orthogonous American Arms, which I love. He may not have put up anything. Last thing I see is 2 weeks ago, is it? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, I think. 12 days ago. So, but still go over there and subscribe, support the channel. And his main channel is Westside Kulik. So I'll just pull that up and show you what it looks like. So he put some 13 days ago. So check that out. Go and subscribe. He has 1,660 something subscribers over there. As far as Orthogonous American Arms, the subscription is now 583. It should be well over that. So they're playing their game. Okay. I think he did the radiant compressor for his Glock 19X. He's changed a few things on there, which I think was pretty freaking cool. But he also got some pretty cool shorts with Twister and certain things like that. Things I find that are very important. Grips and all that kind of stuff. For those who don't know, you got Trauma Hawk on there, myself, Rondo, his Trauma's son. He's got some pretty good ones, pretty funny ones. So it's number love. So show some respect. Check out the channel. We're shooting all types of different calibers and guns and stuff like that. It's a good channel, guys, for those who want to check it out. All right, some of everything's on there. We've interviewed a couple of individuals. Well, yeah, just go and check it out, y'all. Go and check it out, because I'm not going to spoil alerts. We've had certain people who some of you might even follow. Brother that wears a top hat. Everybody pays attention to. A brother who wears dreads was part of the NFA. He was actually part of that, like Oak. You know what I'm saying? With dreads and a couple other people. So it's really, really good. You know what I mean? Mr. C, what's going on? Peace, God. What's going on? Can anyone confirm the most recent mass shooting? Yeah, I was talking about that, and something ain't right about it. You know what I'm saying? Macadon, what's going on, beloved? I would just, I was speaking on that earlier, because there's so much stuff that is just so ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Sasha Fraser, what's going on, beloved? Research the mystery flat pitch. That's in Texas. I actually did a post up on here. It's going way back, showing all the different things and when the government shut it down and why, what they were building underground and everything. It's pretty weird, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a real thing, mystery flesh pit. They believe that to be like the moon or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Mark, there's a lot of people here support everybody. I appreciate, like I said, all the new subscribers. We're going to go ahead and shut it down. I'll be back, like I said, roughly around 11:30, 12 o'clock, and we'll get the first read in. All right, and of course, we're going to start it off with Hidden Lands and Heaven Bearers, because we're getting to really good parts, and after that, we'll get into Alien Worlds, and we'll get back into the books that Kiramio sent me, to which I have other stuff in PDFs. And Algonquins in Europe, how we found that all that's still there. I just find these are kind of important as of right now as to what's going on. Is the reason why I'm reading them. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate, yes it is, here in Texas. Yeah. And then they shut it down, trying to make it, and they can't shut shit down. And it's, if we don't come together as a nation, they're going to keep running over everybody. You know, a lot of you ain't trained up. It could have been 2 years, y'all. A lot of y'all could have been here. We could have been trained up and everything, you know, and manifesting and meditating together and build a steam. We could have had all kind of stuff going on. The women have their steam rooms, and the men have their steam rooms for cleansing. Like, so much could have been done. And so, yeah. Oh, Rondo. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I've actually been talking with the manager and all them. I'm definitely gonna be doing an open house to sell all this shit and back the truck up and come on down before they, because everything they're doing is to create martial law. I was wondering if anybody knew that. So when everything hits the fan, title offense type shit, martial law ensues. What happens with martial law? It impedes your traveling, how you shop, what you spend. These motherfuckers aren't gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? And I was just hoping that people would pay attention to the smallest things. You dig what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. All right. Let me get the fuck off of here. Beloved sisters that came in here, we need y'all's energy. Because y'all, I'm telling you, y'all are more powerful than you could fucking even know. And brothers, we got to protect that energy. We need it. Many of our men are running around. They don't have that good energy. You know, the mama's womb, the mama's energy protects the children. The children are broken because the men couldn't protect the energy of the women, and the women can't protect the energy for the children. It's more than a twofold. It's a system. That is where the real yin and yang and the swastika, the ideology behind it, come from. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. See y'all around 11:30, 12 o'clock, all right?